Right now, your body is running on about 30 trillion tiny cells. Each one is a busy little factory, humming every second to keep you alive. It took evolution millions of years to build this machine. And yet, one single molecule can switch the whole thing off. A molecule millions of times smaller than a grain of sand. Today we meet two of the deadliest ever known, cyanide and military nerve agents. Both can kill a healthy person in minutes, but they do it in almost opposite ways. One makes your cells fall silent, the other makes them scream. Let's look at exactly what happens inside. First, really feel the size difference here. Picture a single grain of sand resting on your fingertip. Now imagine something a million times smaller than that. That is roughly the size of one of these killer molecules. It is far too small to ever see, even under a normal microscope. And still, it is enough to bring down an entire human being. We are giant, lumbering machines, undone by something we cannot even picture. That gap in scale is the strangest part of the whole story. To understand cyanide, forget your lungs for a moment. The real breathing happens deep inside every single cell. In there sit tiny power plants called mitochondria. They take oxygen and food and turn them into usable energy. That energy is the currency your body spends to live. Without it, a cell cannot fire, pump, or think. Everything you are depends on this quiet, constant chemistry. Inside the mitochondria runs a kind of assembly line. Electrons hop down it, step by step, like a bucket chain. At the very end waits a special enzyme, the final worker. Its only job is to hand those electrons over to oxygen. That last handoff is what keeps your whole energy supply flowing. Break that one step, and the entire line jams instantly. This is exactly the door that cyanide attacks. The molecule slips in and clamps onto that final enzyme. It jams the last step shut, like a key snapped off in a lock. Oxygen is right there, waiting, but the cells simply cannot use it. The assembly line freezes in place. Energy production crashes to almost nothing within seconds. Think of it like a whole city losing power at once. The lights, the traffic, the water pumps, everything just stops. Not because the power plants are gone, but because the master switch is stuck. Your cells face that same fate, all together, in moments. A quiet, total blackout inside a body that looks perfectly fine. Now here's the truly eerie part of cyanide. Your lungs are still working perfectly. Your blood is still packed full of fresh oxygen, but not a single cell can actually touch it. It is suffocation in a room full of air, drowning on dry land while your chest keeps rising and falling. There's even a strange, visible clue to all this. Normally your cells pull oxygen out of the passing blood. With cyanide, that oxygen stays locked inside the red cells. So the blood stays bright red, even on its way back to the heart. The skin can flush a strange cherry red color, a beautiful shade, hiding a total collapse underneath. Strangely, cyanide is not some rare alien invention. Tiny traces of it hide inside apple seeds and cherry pits. Bitter almonds carry it too, which is part of why they taste so sharp. In those tiny amounts, your body quietly cleans it up. A special enzyme turns it into something harmless and carries it away. The danger is never just the poison. It is always the dose. In a real poisoning, the hungriest organs feel it first. Your brain burns energy like a furnace, so it fades fast. The heart, another tireless muscle, quickly follows behind. Within minutes come confusion, dizziness, then a loss of control. The most complex object in the known universe, stalling for want of one reaction. But this is also exactly where medicine fights back. Doctors know precisely which lock has been jammed. Some antidotes act like a magnet, pulling cyanide off the enzyme. One even wraps around it and turns it into a harmless vitamin. Get there in time, and the assembly line can restart. The same chemistry that kills also shows us how to save. Now for the opposite kind of killer entirely. If cyanide makes your cells fall silent, nerve agents do the reverse. They make your nerves shout and never let them stop. To see how, we need to watch a single message travel. Your nerves speak to your muscles across a tiny gap. To send a command, a nerve releases a messenger molecule. It drifts across, lands on the muscle, and says, "Fire." The muscle contracts, and the job is done. But a signal is only useful if it can also be switched off. So your body keeps a cleanup crew waiting at every gap. It is an enzyme that instantly mops up the messenger. The moment the command is delivered, it wipes the slate clean. That reset is what lets your muscles relax between moves. It is the tiny off switch behind everything you do. That little cleanup enzyme is a genuine marvel of biology. It is one of the fastest workers in your entire body. It can reset a signal thousands of times every single second. Your smooth, steady movements all quietly depend on that speed, which is exactly why breaking it is so catastrophic. Nerve agents, the class behind names like VX and Novichok, target that off switch. The molecule locks onto the cleanup enzyme and disables it completely. Now the messenger is never cleared away. It just keeps piling up in every single gap. The command to fire is stuck permanently on. We usually fear a signal going quiet or going missing. Here the danger is the exact opposite. A signal that will not stop. More is not always safer in biology. Sometimes too much of a good thing is the very thing that kills you. With no off switch, the muscles can never let go. They fire and fire and fire, all at once. The whole body seizes into violent, uncontrollable shaking. Every muscle is obeying a command it simply cannot refuse. It is the exact opposite of cyanide's silence. Small, precise clues quietly give this poison away. The tiny muscles inside the eye clamp down hard. The pupils shrink to pinpoints, like two little black dots. Glands all over the body flip fully open at the same time. It streams with tears, saliva, and sweat all at once. And then comes the truly fatal detail of all. The muscle that powers your breathing is the diaphragm. It too gets locked into a permanent spasm. It cannot relax, so it cannot pull in the next breath. Once again, the ending is suffocation, from a body frozen in the on position. What makes these agents so feared is how little is needed. A droplet you could barely even see is already enough. It does not destroy your body with brute force at all. It simply flips one microscopic switch and lets your own biology do the rest. The tiniest possible cause, the largest possible effect. Here too, medicine has learned to counterattack. One drug blocks the flood from the stuck messenger. Another tries to pry the agent off the enzyme before it locks on for good. It becomes a desperate race against the clock. Understanding the exact mechanism is what buys a life back. This is really why scientists study these molecules so closely. Not to fear them, but to understand and disarm them. Every mechanism we map becomes an antidote, a sensor, or a defense. Knowing how a machine breaks is how you learn to protect it. Step back, and the symmetry is almost poetic. Cyanide kills by silence. Nerve agents kill by chaos. One stops the cell from ever using its oxygen. The other stops the muscles from ever letting you breathe. Two opposite paths, arriving at the very same door. No oxygen reaching the hungry brain, and both did it by jamming a single lock out of billions. It is a strange lesson about how we are actually built. A body can survive losing blood, bones, even whole organs, but it cannot survive one jammed switch in exactly the right place. We are robust in 1,000 different ways, and fragile in just a few. Strength and weakness, written into the very same design. That is the humbling truth hiding in all of this. You are an almost unimaginable machine. 30 trillion cells, cooperating every second, tuned over millions of years. And yet the off switch is astonishingly small. One molecule, in the right spot, is enough to stop it all. We are, in the end, just chemistry, balanced on a knife's edge. But that same knowledge is also our greatest shield. The more we understand these locks, the better we can defend them. That is the real chemistry of survival. If you want to keep seeing how this world truly works, subscribe. We go all the way down, to the scale where one molecule decides everything. Let's keep exploring the ruthless, beautiful machinery of life together.